Facts. Facts. I'll take you on. Ray and Ghost United. It was good to see these guys, man. Battle for real, for real. By the way, for any of you who might have the original Ray and Ghost United, please send that to me, or please let me know where I can get it. It's the same Delphonic sample. Pete Rock did the beat. It came online, like, this is like 2004. So this is before Fishgale came out. There was a leak. It's the same beat, but it's just dirtier. It's less clean to a certain degree. And to me, it was doper. Of course, the final version is dope, but I felt that it was a little too clean, if that makes any sense. So if y'all know what I'm talking about, send it my way, okay? Ghost and Ray, let's talk about it. I enjoyed this battle a lot. And of course, I mean, these are two legendary rappers, so I was going to be invested anyway. And I thought it was, pretty good, all things considered. It was entertaining. The time flew by like that because, again, these are just music guys. They got a lot of great music that they've made between the two of them. And they're entertaining guys in general. So it was going to be fun. Now, let's look at this thing, track by track and see what we think, right? Okay, so I got my, my notes as usual. So let's see. Number one, Special Delivery versus Skewed on the Barbie. Special Delivery. That one's easy for me. I can see Ray how he was like trying to be like, yo, rep for the South and all that. But, I mean, nah. Special Delivery was that joint, man. The original, the remix was huge. Ghost did really well. He set it off. So, yeah, Ghost gets that one. So, 1-0 Ghost, right? 1-0. Ghostini versus 10 Bricks. This is round 2. Now, I like the album version of Ghostini better than the original Ghostini, personally. I think that had Ghost played that one, I think it would have been an easy win over 10 Bricks. But because it's the original, I don't like the original as much. That beat doesn't really move me as much. But I think I'd probably still give it to Ghostini. 10 Bricks is dope, though. 10 Bricks is a good song. But I probably would give it to the Ghostini. So that's 2-0. Right? Now, third round. Fourth Chamber versus House of Flying Daggers. I mean, come on, Fourth Chamber. Like, that's an easy one. House of Flying Daggers is okay. It's a decent song, but it doesn't compare. So that's 3-0. So see how Ghost came on swinging heavy. Now, Mighty Healthy, round 4. Mighty Healthy versus Incarcerated Scarfaces. Oh. See, I would give this to Mighty Healthy personally. But, I mean, these are both, like, stupid classic. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're both amazing songs. So that's really a tie, honestly. But for me personally, Mighty Healthy blew me away more, right? Well, again, they came out at different times. The first time I heard Incarcerated Scarfaces blew me the fuck away. Back in, like, 97 or something like that. So that was crazy to me. Mighty Healthy I didn't hear until, like, 2005. You know what I mean? And that was like, whoa, I saw the video and everything all at the same time. And it was like, wow, that's me. That's exactly what I would do. Like, it just hit me on a fundamental level. So I would probably pick Mighty Healthy, but they're both phenomenal. So let's just give it a tie, okay? So that's, 4-1. Now, number 5. I think this was like some cut-off Iron Man. I don't know if it was after Smoke Clears or Black Jesus. And Raekwon played Live from New York. Live from New York, for sure. That's the better song there. So, Ray gets that. Now, round 6 was Tony for Mayor. Tony for Mayor versus It's Yours. It's Yours. That's easy. So, now Ray is catching up. And I like, there was a thing that Ghost said in the, basically in the battle, he was like, every beat had to feel like a single. That's facts. That's how you make classic albums, right? Every song has to feel like it stands on its own. It could be a single, right? Not like, some radio shit. That's not what we're talking about. What I'm saying is that each song could launch someone's career. That's the reason why Illmatic is looked at as such an amazing album. Every one of those songs, if you had given them to someone else, could have launched that person's career. Even One Time for Your Mind. They're that good. Like, they'd be classic songs for whoever, made them, if that makes sense. You gave that to someone, it'd probably still be the best song on their album. You have to think that way. That's how you make classic shit. Everything's got to be, you know what I mean? Anyway, so Moving into round 7. So Impossible versus I made a note here. It was like some mobilarity joint, and it was funny because I remembered the video, but I didn't really remember the name of the song. It wasn't until the end where it was like, oh yeah, it's 100 rounds. I remember that it was like Mayweather and it was all up in the video and Zab Judah and shit like that. So I don't like either of these songs, to be honest with you. I don't know. I would tie that one. I think they're both not really my cup of tea, to be honest with you. So let's give that a tie. That's 5-4. So Ghost is still up by 1. Now, round 8. Let's see here. Cherchez La Ghost versus Ice Cream. Well, Ghost is on both of these songs and he kills both of them, so I gave that round to Ghost easy. Even though, obviously Ice Cream is a fantastic song, right? But to me, that's a Ghostface highlight right there. So Ghost got that. So now we're at 6-4. Number 9, round 9 is New God Flow versus State of Grace. I never was crazy about State of Grace. I'm gonna be honest with you. I remember when a couple of people were really feeling that beat and everything. It was okay for me, but it wasn't like whoa, So I probably give it to New God Flow actually. Sorry about that. So Ghost is up, 7-4. Nutmeg versus Criminology, round 10. Oh, I would give that one to Ghost again because, Ghost killed Nutmeg and he killed Criminology, right? Ray, of course, killed Criminology, but, and Criminology is the bigger record in a way, but at the same time, this is the problem with them battling, like when they're on the same fucking records. Like at the end of the day, it's just a Ghostface highlight reel, right? So I'm going to give that one to Ghost. So now Ghost is up 8-4. Let's see what else is going on here. So now, this is when they kind of have this interlude and they switch around and the DJs are doing their thing. I actually really liked this about the battle. I thought that this was really dope and it was good to see in hip-hop where the DJs had these interludes and they would just kind of like rock them. That's a very New York thing. It's a very tri-state thing. And like, this is the best shit, man. It takes me back to a time when, I was in New York living out there for a minute and, I was like, I had nothing to do. There was a particular weekend where I had some time. And, I always used to like to go and explore, New York and do things. So I go to this like bachata event in Queens, right? Rockaway Beach. And I remember I bumped into this girl who was there. She was like on vacation. She was from Sweden, a real cute chick. So, I'm talking to her, whatever. And I'm like, hey, we should do something, blah, blah, right? So she agrees. And I remember I took her to the spot in Queens. I can't remember the name of it. But you go there, and it's like some real DJ shit. Like, everybody there was black. I even was kind of like, damn, I can't believe I brought this white girl here. She don't know nothing about this. Like, she knows nothing about this shit. You know what I mean? Like, literally, she was the only person of color out there. Like, the only person who was white out there. Like, it was like a black spot in Queens. But the point is that when you go and you see these DJs rocking, they don't just play songs. They chop them. They they get the crowd going. They be talking to the mic, like the real hip hop shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you only really see that in New York for the most part. Now, I've partied in Houston. I've partied in the West Coast. Yes, you see that to a certain degree, but it's not quite the same, especially with the juggling and stuff like that. And that's what I love. It makes like, not too much, like, because sometimes DJs can overdo it, but when you sprinkle it in and it's done really well, man, it takes the party to a whole nother level. So, anyways, I thought the DJ interludes were great. Some real hip hop shit. The chops, some of them, I was like, man, like, what the fuck beat is that? Like, I want to know more. So, but it did switch. So, let's talk about the switch. Cream. So, Raekwon's going first. Cream versus Holla. Well, Cream gets that one easy, so that's not even the thing. So now, it's 8-5 in favor of Ghost. Now, Rainy Days Remix versus Daytona 500. These are both phenomenal songs, man. Fucking phenomenal songs. And Ghost, actually, what's really funny about these songs is that I would argue that Raekwon kills both of them. So actually, I think I'd give them this one to Raekwon. Like, Raekwon murdered Daytona 500. Murdered it. So actually, Raekwon is up on this one. So this is 8-6 for Ray, even though they're both equally amazing songs. Glaciers of Ice versus Run. Tie. I can't really. This one's a tie. I can't really say anything about that. So 9-7 for Ghost. John Blades versus, I don't know what the fuck Ghostface played on that one. I don't even remember. I said whatever the song is. So that's an easy one for Raekwon. So now Ghost is only up by 1. It's 9-8. Round 15, I put some whack Immobilarity joint. I remember, I just knew it was Immobilarity versus Juan. Come on, man. Ghostface won? Come on, easy. That's an easy one for Ghostface. So, Ghostface is up 10-8 over some whack Immobilarity song. Raekwon then plays Rich and Black, and Ghostface gets on the Santa Claus shit with Back Like That. I don't like either of these songs, I gotta be honest with you. I don't like either of the songs. I guess I'd give it to Rich and Black. Let's just give Raekwon a point. So now, Verbal Intercourse versus Never Be the Same Again. Verbal Intercourse. I don't even know why he played. See, this is when the DJ started kind of playing Ghostface's R&B shit, and it was like, what's going on here right now? So now they're tied, basically 10-10, right? Scary Hours. I love this record, man. This was my favorite song on Fool Forever. Easy. So versus the A. Marie joint. And Ghost was like, oh, Beyonce, blah, blah. I thought that was hilarious. But Scary Hours, for sure. Scary Hours. So Ray is actually up. Ain't that some shit? So Ray is up by 1 point. And now the Freaking You remix versus the Tiana Taylor song. I would give it to Ghost on this one. They're both classic. That one's tough. The Freaking You remix, I think people would probably say is a better song. Obviously a more notable song than a Tiana Taylor song. Let's put a tie on that one. Because I don't listen to either of them like that, so I'm going to just be a tie. So 10-11. And then Raekwon played The Game, and Ghost didn't really play anything, and then he played, Can It Be So Simple, and Heaven and Hell. So anyways, I think Raekwon actually got this by a hair, but actually Raekwon ended up winning, just because you could even feel the energy a little bit. Ghost was starting to kind of like almost fade a little bit, and his DJ started playing a bunch of shit that I was just like, what are you playing this for? So yeah, that's the battle. I think Ray got it by a smidgen, even though I think that Ghost is my preferred rapper. Even though what's interesting is that back in the day, when I heard Wu-Tang for the first time in 97, Ray was my favorite rapper of the bunch, actually. Well, Ray and Method Man. And it wasn't until like much later, like Supreme Clientele days, that Ghost started to become my favorite of the bunch. And now he's like, easily my favorite. Other things I wanted to talk about, the numbers. There was only really like 100,000, I think, people that tuned in, which is fine to me. Personally, I think this is just how hip-hop goes. It's not going to be popular. I think DJ and RZA battle was around this, if not like 200,000 maybe at best. So, yeah, it's a hip-hop thing, man. Like, I've always said this, but like hip-hop in general, like the real hip-hop, Melly Mel even said this shit in an interview today on Vlad, but he's like, there's a lane for everybody in so-called hip-hop of today, except for real hip-hop people. Ain't that some shit, right? The point is that most people don't actually like hip-hop like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, hip-hop is the biggest genre in the world, but what's actually hip-hop right now is basically just a mix of pop and R&B with blackness in it, and people saying nigga, you know what I'm saying, with bitches. Like, that's really what hip-hop is, right? It's auto-tune R&B pop, of the urban variety. It's not really hip-hop, you know what I mean? So, yes, the genre is huge, but in general, the actual art form, the hard beats, the tough rhymes, the intellect, all that, like, it's not that popular. It never was, I would argue. It never was. I mean, look, Rapper's Delight was the first song that came out that was huge, and people thought that shit was garbage. That tells you right off the bat what this is, all about. It's about pop, right? Pop is the stuff that sells, like, stupid amount of units and, casuals latch onto. But the real shit is for a select few. And that's okay. There's none, that's just how these things go. So you can't be mad about numbers. The fact of the matter is that 100,000 people who were probably mostly real people, not many bots, I would argue, showed up just to check out Ray and Ghost to hang out. Like, that's pretty powerful. And this is like decades after they've been so, quote unquote relevant. That's not going to happen for a lot of pop packs. So it is what it is. I don't care about the numbers. I'm not mad at it at all. They played like a Griselda song with, Ghost and Ray. Or I think it was just Ghost featuring Griselda or something like that. That song sucked. Whatever that was, that shit was boring. And you could just feel the energy leave. I mean, the numbers were like dropping and shit like that. I thought that was kind of interesting. Obviously the Griselda stands are going to pretend like it's the hottest shit ever. Alchemist did the beat. Oh my God, it's Ghostface and Griselda, GFXR, or whatever the fuck did these guys write. But at the end of the day, that shit sounded sleepy. So, and then last thing I wanted to talk about real briefly was the upcoming one. So they got Redman and Method Man. Maybe I'll save that for another video. Actually, I'll save that for another time. But I am happy to see Redman step into the Verzuz for sure. Nas, let me talk about Nas because, obviously Nas always ends up getting mentioned or played. And I think it was interesting how Ghost, bigged up Nas and was like, yo, Nas was that guy or whatever, Goldyn Chyld. And yeah, that's facts. I remember personally, I was at Rock the Bells like 2011, I want to say. And I remember we were on stage, this was in New York. We were watching Ghostface and Raekwon, and we were waiting for Nas to perform because I guess Ghost and Ray started a little late. And then as soon as it was announced that Nas was going to hit the stage, and it was like at the other side of Governor's Island or something, but it was like, like a 2-3 minute skip over. We left that shit. So I'm pretty sure Ray and Ghost have like experienced that personally, where they've seen, like, we're talking like thousands of people who are like facing one stage all of a sudden rush to go see Nas. Yeah, so Nas is that dude, man. And this is the thing, I love Ghost, right? But to me, it's interesting when I look at these battles, I'm like, Nas to me was on a different level because as dope as Ghost and Ray are, they're still very project dudes. These are still very hood dudes in their demeanor and their style to a certain degree. And they're very graceful with it and they're very intelligent with it and they love music and it's great. But there's a certain sort of intellectual side that Nas added and a certain flyness and even like a certain peacefulness to it that like just took it to another level, And that's why people worship the shit out of Nas because it's like the fully realized potential of a hood rapper, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like Ray and Ghost are close, but Nas really is like the apex of that shit. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the battle. Let me know what you think. Who do you think got it? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm going to go with Ray on this. I think Ray ultimately won, even though Ghost, I think, has the better catalog. But Ray was the more energetic one. He was, he was twisted and he was dancing, having a good time and saying funny shit. And I think he played better songs overall. So that's who I think got it. Peace, y'all.